Hi everyone, this is Olga, and today I want to talk with you about how to be always at your best by managing your energy levels. If you're ambitious, if you have big goals for your life, if there is lots of things you want to achieve, you want to be at your best, obviously. But oftentimes people think that being at your best means working harder, thinking smarter, mastering all sorts of know-hows and whatnot, productivity systems. And oftentimes people forget about managing your energy levels. And so you work really, really hard, put in a lot of effort, but then your energy depletes and you're at the low and you can't really do much anymore. And you have to go back, you have to rest, you have to recuperate. Maybe you're feeling bad that you're not productive anymore. And then once you've rested a little bit, somehow you get back and you have a good day again and you're great and you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna smash it today. So what I want to talk with you about is how to manage your energy levels so you're always at your best. Not up and down, but you're constantly very high. Imagine that every morning when you wake up, you're feeling energized, you're feeling refreshed, you're feeling motivated, you know exactly what you want, you're happy about having a new day ahead of you. No task is too much, your judgment is on point, you're really feeling confident about what you're going after, you're positive about your life and your future, you're fun to be around for your friends, for your family, anyone around you feels like, oh my God, this person is just so fun. Unfortunately for most of us, we don't stay there for too long. We get to those days that are dragging, we can't wait for Friday to come, we're so low, we can't be asked to do anything at all, and it's just like one of those days, like I can't wait for it to be over so I can start afresh the next day. And oftentimes we think that it's just, just not my day today, it's just not one of those days. But actually, a lot of it is due to the things we can put in place and things we can control so that your energy levels stay stable and you're constantly in a good place. It's not just that you have a bad mood today and like nothing feels right and you're like cranky. No, you can actually control how you feel by putting things in place. And today I want to talk about the very, very basics of what we need for our well-being and what we need to manage our energy levels. And that is starting with our biology, starting with our bodies. Sorry if it's not too sexy and not too trendy, but yes, going back to the basics and looking after our basic needs is laying the foundations for our energies to do anything else and to do any whatever ambitious goals you have for your life. And there is one more catch. Just learning about it and just thinking, yeah, definitely this is a good idea is not going to do the trick. You actually need to put things in place. You actually need to start doing things differently for it to work. So if you're ready, here is what determines your energy levels on any given day. First and foremost is your body, your physiology, your physical well-being, and only after that comes your mental well-being and your mental state and your attitude and motivation. Why I'm putting them in that order? Not because your mental well-being is not important. No, it is extremely important. The reason I put them in that order is because in our cultures, in Western cultures, bodies are very often forgotten. Bodies are very often overlooked and not even thought about. It's like they just have to function and they just have to provide for whatever I want to do with my life. They just have to work. We don't give them the attention they deserve. We don't give them the care they deserve. We don't think about them enough the way they deserve. That's why I want us to think about the bodies first and the mind and our emotional well-being afterwards. So if you do find yourself in a situation where you haven't ticked every single item on your to-do list, before you go into looking for a better time management technique and productivity hacks, check in with your body. Does it have the energy to do all those things that you demand that it does for you? Does it get enough recognition? Does it get enough rest? Does it get enough care so that it can do all those things that you want? And it's totally doable. We just need to shift priorities a little bit. So let's start from the basics. We have 4 basic needs that we need to meet for our bodies to function well. That is sleep, water, food, and sex, and rest and exercise. But those 2 we will talk about next time, just because it's such a big topic on its own. I don't want to cram everything into one video. As a spoiler, your brain needs rest as well, not just your body. It doesn't need exercise. It works out a lot in our cultures, but it does need rest. And by the way your brain rests is when you're really bored and you're not doing anything, not even any entertainment, like just bored. That's just a teaser for next time. But now we're focusing on our 4 main needs: sleep, water, food, and sex. First of all, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a GP or anything like that, so I can't tell you how much water you should have, what kind of food you should eat, but just general sort of common sense things. Drink enough. Depending on your climate, depending how much you exercise, how physical your lifestyle is, drink enough water. Super easy tip: if you're not sure if you're drinking enough, if when you go pee and it looks really bright and yellow, you're probably not drinking enough, your body is dehydrated. If it's more transparent, you're drinking enough. That's kind of it. I can't tell you if all liquids count or not all liquids count, but that's like the easiest test you can do. Again, sorry, it's not sexy, but a lot of solutions in our life are not about sexy, but about actually doing things. So just grab that water, have a glass, and let's move on. Food, same. I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a dietitian. I can't tell you what foods you should be eating, what is good and what is not. I'm not going to be talking about any diets and what sort of diet you should be doing. Listen to your body, what it responds to well. If you have any concerns that maybe you're not getting enough nutrients, speak to a professional. Go for professional help, someone who is qualified to help you, someone who can do those tests for you. Check your blood, see if you're getting everything that you need to be getting. If there's any problems, seek out help. If it's just a general, just try to tune in with your body and see how it responds. Is there foods that make you really sleepy? Is there foods that make you feel better? How do you feel when you eat this or that? What are you enjoying? What are you not enjoying? But try to connect with your body more, not just your head of what you think you should be eating. And if your life is really busy, try to make space for food so that you can actually eat, so that there is time for you to actually connect with the food you're eating and actually notice what's happening. Not just maybe eat, at 6 o'clock for the first time in your day because you've been so busy working the whole day and getting that project done. One thing I do want to mention about food, because I find it very important, there are so many people who struggle with eating. And I'm not talking just eating disorders, I'm talking a lot of things. We have so many misconceptions in our societies about how bodies should look, what you should be eating, what is healthy and what is not healthy, what is okay to eat, what is not okay, how much, how often, etc., etc., etc. So if you struggle with eating, do you consider getting help? There are specialists who can help you with that. There are therapists who focus specifically, who specialize in eating disorders and eating behaviors. It's not just disorders. I've been in a group for eating disorders and eating behavior problems, and it helped me a lot on so many levels. And I only had a minor issue where I was just binge eating at work. Only at work, but I was still doing it every day. And it helped me understand what's happening, understand what my body needs. It helped me reconnect with my body and feed it better. It doesn't mean that I have no problems, never, and I'm now like perfect. No, I'm just as human as anyone. But it gave me help. It gave me someone to rely on, to lean into, ask my questions, get support, and move on so that my body feels better. I don't feel bloated, I don't feel heavy, I don't feel tired. I feel more energy, because what you eat will also determine what your energy levels are. And again, everything is connected. We are trying to focus on the body now, but if you're hating your body, if you don't have a very good relationship with your body, if you're not your body's best friend, if you're not a fan of your body, then probably it's a bit hard to take good care of it. Because if you don't like it, why would you be taking good care of it, right? It all makes sense. So if you don't like your body image, if you don't like looking at yourself in the mirror, maybe that's something to address as well. With a coach, with a therapist, with a counselor, doesn't matter. But try to think in that direction. It might dramatically improve your energy levels and your ability to concentrate and do things and achieve things by looking at that. It's not always obvious how our psyche works, but everything is connected and everything is related. And coming back to where I started talking about bodies in general, if I don't like my body or if I have dissociation from my body, then it will be so much harder for me to notice the signals from my body when I need rest, when I need to slow down, when maybe I'm getting a little bit sick, a little bit under the weather, and I need to slow down. But I don't notice it because I'm not listening to my body. I'm pushing it away. I'm all in my head. I'm not here. So try to slow down and try to connect. And food is one of those ways that we connect with our bodies. Sleep. And when we're talking about sleep, first of all, it's super important to get enough of it. And again, I'm not a doctor. I can't tell you how much is enough for you personally, but just see how you feel. When is enough? And the other thing that's extremely important as well is the quality of your sleep. Do you feel refreshed in the morning or not? And if you don't feel refreshed, it could be both, that you're not sleeping enough, but maybe the quality of your sleep is quite poor. And obviously in our performance-driven culture, a lot of us feel pressured into priding ourselves on how little sleep we can go on. Oh, I'm up in the morning, 5 a.m. every day, and I don't go to bed until midnight. Well, your body is probably not too happy about it. If you do have any troubles around sleep, I would recommend one book, The Sleep Solution. I'll put the link down the bottom, check it out. It has super nice, easy to follow tips on how to drastically improve your quality of sleep by simple things. So number one is just getting a routine, going to sleep at the same time, waking up at the same time. There's a lot of helpful tips in that book. So if you do have any difficulties around sleep, I do recommend checking out that book. It's really, really helpful. I found it very helpful myself. And for me as a coach, why I advocate for sleep so much, why I'm such a big fan of sleeping enough and sleeping well, not just because I love sleeping, but because sleep is when our brains recreate our neural pathways. This is when our microglial cells work. We talked about them when we talked about neuroplasticity, but that's when they clean up whatever we're not using anymore, any neural pathways that we're not using anymore. They're cleaning them up and they're making way for new ones. So if you want to change anything in your life, make sure you get enough sleep, because otherwise it really impedes your change. And again, because we are so prone to living in our heads and thinking about everything and overthinking about everything, sometimes when you find yourself in a crisis and everything is bad, I must be going through a midlife crisis, I don't know what's going on, I've lost meaning of life, what is my purpose, and all those thoughts, which are totally valid, but ask yourself, am I sleeping enough? And if you're not, before you bang yourself on the head with all those questions, just try sleeping for a week. Just give it a go. Honestly, what are you risking, right? You're only sleeping. You're not risking much at all. If the questions are still there after making more space for sleep in your schedule, then obviously dig in. Totally valid, brilliant, and I'll be happy to help you with those as well, and we can look into them in coaching. Try to make sure you're sleeping enough. Try to make sure that all of the basics are there before you're digging into all those life-changing questions too deeply. And one note of the side, I just can't miss it. If you're a parent of a very young child and you're having difficulties with your partner, with your child, with anyone around you, sleep deprivation for parents of young children is a thing. It's totally a thing. It's very hard. I'm not a parent myself, but I've seen a lot of parents of young children, and it is difficult. It really is difficult. So if you have it in you, try not divorcing your partner, try not quarreling with everyone around you. Try and see how you can get more support so that you can sleep more. I know it is challenging. It is not easy when you have a young one to look after, but try prioritizing sleep, because it will make things better, not only for you, but for your young one as well. The last thing we need to talk about is sex. And when I'm saying sex, I mean masturbation as well. And again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to be telling you how much of it you need and how often and what kind of. That's up to you. I don't know. I hope you do. If you don't, maybe try to explore and understand what you like and how much of it you want. But why I talk about sex here is, again, it's a very good way of looking at how connected with your body you are. Do you know what you like and what you dislike? Do you know when you like it and when you prefer not to? Is your body happy and satisfied or not quite? If you're a woman or if you're non-binary, it can be also a way of seeing how is your relationship with your body. Do you know your body well enough? Are you able to cater for your body yourself? Do you know how to please yourself? Are you in it for yourself or are you in it for others? Are you in charge of your own pleasure? Are you in charge of your own well-being? Are you in charge of your own safety? Are you able to communicate openly about what you want and what you don't want? How is it for you? It's just a very good metaphor. I love metaphors. And sex is a very good metaphor on how we're treating our bodies and how we're treating ourselves in life in general. Do I make space for myself or am I there for others? And for me, and my motivation in working with women in the first place is helping women put themselves on the top of their priorities list. Not even when there is time left after everyone else is being taken care of. No, you got to do it for yourself first. You're important. So I want you to have the best time. And one last bit that I tend to forget, but it is again very important, especially for females and those of us who have been assigned female at birth, hormone cycles. If you're not using any hormone treatments, then your hormone cycles will also affect your energy levels. And before you start bashing yourself for being unproductive, maybe look at the time of the month. Is it the right time of the month to be starting something? Or does your body need more time to rest at this moment? And you can start something big and massive a week later. Take that into account. It's totally normal. Our culture is very masculine. We are supposed not to talk about menstruation. We're not supposed to talk about hormones. We're not supposed to be affected in any way. We're supposed to perform at the same level as men do. And I don't think that's really equality, and I don't think that feminism is really about that. I think feminism is about getting female voices heard. And when I'm saying female, I want it to include anyone who has anything to do with female anatomy and female hormones. So if that applies to you, please feel that you're included too. Let's say women with an X at the end. Same if you're going through menopause or birth or pregnancy, or you've just given birth. It's a massive job your body is doing right now. Give it credit, give it as much love and attention as you can. Obviously, it can be difficult, but it is important and it needs to be recognized. And part of why women have been so disempowered in societies is because all of the childcare and all of the care in general has been undeveloped. Like, it's not important. Conquering lands is important, but childcare is not. Well, has anyone ever been born without a uterus being involved? I don't think so. So this is getting a bit long already. Sorry, it is a bit hard for me to stop once I started talking feminism. It's just one of my favorite topics. And this is why I'm here in coaching women. But anyway, do comment down below how you found this. I don't think it was anything new. Like, I'm talking common sense now, but again, it's super important to do it rather than just know about it. So I hope you're doing it. If you want to share about where you're at with it right now, is there any one of those that's kind of fallen behind for you? And what is the easiest thing you could do that could give you the most improvement in quality of your life? Can you tweak how much you drink a little bit? Can you tweak your food? Tweak your sleeping patterns a little bit? Can you take care more of your sex life a little bit? What is the easiest thing you can tweak so that you'll get the most reward out of it? And do join me next week when we will talk about rest and exercise. And have a great one. I'll see you all next time.